At Dirt Candy in New York City, Amanda Cohen and her staff spend their day chopping, rolling, and sautéing vegetables. What's the thing with you and vegetables?
I just really like them, and you get to be so creative and have so much fun with them. We're like pioneers in the vegetable world, and it's fun.
She's a pioneer in another way, too. There's a no tipping policy at her restaurant. What would you say is the biggest plus about having a no-tip system?
There's quite a few, actually. One is my guests don't have to do math at the end of the night. They can drink as much as they want and not have to worry. My staff is really happy. They all feel like they're making a fair wage.
And a happy staff stays.
You know, right now you hear about this revolving door in restaurants and there's not enough staff. I am overstaffed.
I really respect the restaurants that have been able to stick with this. We just couldn't.
Restaurateur Danny Meyer started a no-tipping policy in his restaurants in 2015.
It took a lot of explaining because it's not the typical way that Americans go out to dine. But in that time, the consumers really got with the program.
As long as we allow one industry to get away with it, more and more and more industries are going to want that boondoggle.
Saru Jayaraman says giving tips instead of wages began in the South after the Civil War.
We in America uniquely mutated tipping from being an extra bonus on top of a wage to becoming a replacement for wages. That became law in 1938 as part of the New Deal when everybody got the right to a federal minimum wage for the first time, but tipped workers were excluded.
She is the founder of One Fair Wage.
Our fight is to just get everybody a full minimum wage with tips on top. For everybody to be guaranteed a full wage from their employer, like every other worker in every other industry, and let tips be what they were always intended to be.
As for Amanda Cohen, she gets a good night's sleep these days.
We are packed every night.
Would you ever consider going back to the tip system?
Absolutely not. I think this restaurant's on the right side of history.
Tonight, new charges have been unsealed in a sweeping investigation into fentanyl trafficking. Attorney General Merrick Garland laid out the charges against more than 24 members of Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel network. 3 sons of the notorious drug lord El Chapo Guzman were charged, and so were Chinese nationals accused of supplying chemicals to make the drugs.
The Justice Department will never forget the victims of the fentanyl epidemic. We will never forget those who bear responsibility for this tragedy, and we will never stop working to hold them accountable.
Listen to this. Prosecutors say the Sinaloa cartel supplies most of the fentanyl in the U.S. and is largely responsible for more than 100,000 overdose deaths in 2021 alone.